What's a little known survival fact that everyone should know? Smash the like button and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks. Now let's get started. If you're performing CPR on someone whose heart or breathing has stopped, do not stop until EMTs take the body away. CPR typically does not cause the victim's heart to start back up and for them to jerk awake. It is to force blood to continue circulating, in order to prevent brain death and irreversible brain damage. Also pump to the rhythm of Staying Alive by Bee Gees. Situational awareness. Know your surroundings. Constantly scan your environment. If you can hear something, that something usually can hear you as well. Keep your feet dry and clean. Keep the knife inside. Pulling out the knife will probably make you bleed out. If you see a mountain lion in the wild, don't run away. Mountain lions are ambush predators. They attack from the back, so if you see a mountain lion, slowly walk back and keep eye contact. If you see him, he has seen you for a long time. You don't sneak up on mountain lions. You stumble onto bears. They could give a shit. Mountain lions are tuned. Regarding bears, if it's black, fight back. If it's brown, stay down. If it's white, say goodnight. And if it's gummy, put it in your tummy. If someone is trying to abduct you, never under any circumstances allow them to get you in a vehicle. Kick, scream, and fight like hell. Your chances of survival drop to almost zero once you are in the vehicle. Along these lines, listen to your gut. F politeness or worrying about what anybody else thinks. Get away, get loud, and if someone's trying to hurt you, don't worry about fighting fair, just fight. For just random everyday city dwellers, learn how to change a tire. It's amazing to me how many people have never done it. Also, even if you already know how, locate all the stuff in your vehicle. Firstly, to make sure it's all there. Secondly, to make sure it all works, spare has air, etc. Also, to make sure your car even has a spare. Some new cars, especially fancy ones, don't have spares anymore. If your car doesn't have one, keep that in the back of your mind when planning a trip into remote areas. Run flats only do so much. If you're ever in an emergency survival situation, look for these 3 things in this order. 1. Shelter. It only takes one night of bad conditions to kill you. 2. Water. It takes 3 days to die of dehydration. 3. Food. It can take up to 3 weeks to die of starvation. Also, if you run across a clear, swift moving stream, it should be relatively safe to drink. If you can't boil or filter it in some sort of way, stagnant water will almost certainly carry harmful bacteria or other biological contaminants. It is very, very rarely a good idea to leave the vehicle. Stuck remotely in the snow, capsized boat, downed plane in the woods. If it is safe, stay. Leaving is almost always the worst idea. If by chance you get chased by a polar bear, remove an article of clothing, maybe gloves or a hat. Polar bears have severe ADHD and will examine the piece of clothing carefully until they move on, which gives you time to escape. Water does not extinguish gas fires. Never pour water on a gas fire. It's best to cut the oxygen or let it burn out. Same thing for a grease fire. Speaking of which, if you have a fire in your oven, put the fire out with either salt or baking soda. If you're grilling and the fire gets out of hand, use baking soda. Water in a grease fire will explode in your face. Adding to this, if you see a plane or helicopter, don't wave your arms. Instead, splash as much as you can. It's a lot easier to see the contrast in the water than moving arms. This is so important. I grew up on an island, and this was part of our annual safety assembly at school. Just float, and always wear something bright if you're out in uncertain weather. The inner bark of certain trees are edible. You can never go wrong with pine. Just scrape off the bark until the wood is slightly sappy, and cut thin papery strips off. A bit bitter, but it should keep you alive long enough to find a more sustainable source of food. You can call 911 without service. I got into a car accident on a twisty road in the middle of nowhere. No service. I called 911 and it picked up. Always try to call even if you have no cell reception. If you're in the rainforests of Australia, make sure you know what the stinging tree looks like and do not touch the stinging tree. Hold up. So you're saying that on top of the bajillion dangerous animals you have, we have to worry about the damn trees too? People have killed themselves to stop the pain. It's kinda bad. If you're outside in a lightning storm and your hair starts floating, seek immediate shelter. You're about to be struck by lightning. If immediate, within 15 seconds of movement, shelter is not available, put both your feet together, squat down on the balls of your feet, and grab your ankles. If you're struck, this will give the lightning a direct path down to the ground and hopefully minimize damage. If you can't find water and feel dehydrated, suck on a button or a small stone. Your body will pull reserve fluids to produce saliva which can be swallowed. Keep your feet, socks, boots dry, if at all possible. The second you get blisters or boot rot, you're in for a world of pain. Lay down bedding of foliage to help insulate your body while sleeping. The ground will suck all your body heat out, and you'll wake up exhausted and in worse shape to begin the next day.